We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. G'day, I'm Shell.
Kia ora, I'm Lou.
And welcome to Xena Warrior Nutballs. And today, Lou, who do we have?
We have the man behind all of the sets, from Tartarus to the Elysian Fields and everything in between. He's the production designer for the entire of Hercules and Xena. It's Rob Gillies.
Wow, Kiwi legend. Let's talk about him.
I know. So Rob Gillies, he's the man that designed all the crosses for Lucy Lawless to get crucified on. And he talks about like the emotional weight of creating that.
Yeah, totally. And he built that boat.
He did.
So cool. It was used in Ulysses, The Lost Mariner, A Friend in Need, Part 1.
Yeah, massive. So many.
Goes into that, has a big chat about that.
He does. These fellas move so fast to produce our TV that we love so much of Xena Warrior Princess. The stuff they have to create is such quick turnaround. This has to be the team that is... I don't even know. They're spitting off into another dimension at any one time.
It sounds like organised chaos, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And he obviously is part of the Renaissance Pictures family.
Yes.
Because he's also worked on Jack of All Trades, Cleopatra 2525, Legend of the Seeker, and Evil Dead.
So cool, Evil Dead.
A really huge New Zealand film that he also worked on was The World's Fastest Indian, which is based on a hometown hero for me, Burt Munro.
Oh, why? Is that he's like a race car driver?
He's a motorcycle driver played by Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's actually won a bunch of TV Guide New Zealand Film and Television Awards.
Yes.
And some of them are for his work on Xena.
Yes.
For example, we've got in 1997, he won Best Design for Season 1, Callisto.
Oh.
This, you know, like the ladder fighting, that production
man.
set, huge, hey?
Wow.
Another one was that he was nominated for Best Production Design for Devi in Season 4.
I should have won it.
100%.
And we've got to mention too, he's an amazing musician and one of the founding members of the Kiwi band Split Enz. So 80s kids out there, you would remember that amazing band. So he was the trumpet player and saxophonist. How do you say that?
The saxophone.
Saxophonist, is it? I think that's how you
So
say it.
he played the trumpet and the saxophone.
Yeah, well done. So he played the trumpet. So he played the trumpet and the saxophone.
He did. Yeah, look, Split Enz, there's no amount of gushing that I could do. This is like a formative band. Everyone knows Split Enz in New Zealand. Split Enz is played at every rugby game, at every netball game, at every But no, they are an incredible band, and I just remember driving along in the back of my dad's ute listening to Split Enz over and over again growing up in Aotearoa.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So Rob is actually the designer of the weapons.
Yeah.
His creative genius thought those into existence. How amazing.
Yes, and we get such a cool chance to talk to him about it, and he, of course, attributes the beauty of them, the majesty of them, the amazingness of them to the entire team, which is so cool. But they were actually so important and so identified as important in the cultural history of New Zealand, the fabric of TV, that Te Papa, the National Museum of New Zealand in Wellington, accessioned them into their collection in the early 2000s to kind of keep them forever.
How beautiful.
It shows you how important these people's work is that they're doing on this show to create this mind-blowing feminist icon. We're so lucky.
Yeah, and it's art. It's pure artistry.
Absolutely.
That needs to be celebrated, hey?
I'm so glad you brought that up before we get into it, because I think when you think of the look and the feel of the show and a production designer's role, you don't necessarily always think of all of those little nuanced bits that he is also having a hand in and making, like the weapons, like it's so much of the universe that we love so much in the Xenaverse has kind of been shaped by Rob Gillies. Like he's, and his amazing team and his big whānau of incredible workers. But absolutely, Rob Gillies is the one that is like cultivating and shaping the imagery that we get to take home and love and come every week for.
Think about all the tattoos that Xenites have of the sword.
Yes.
That's come from his brain.
I know. And all the tattoos of size penetrating chakrams. That's come from Rob Gillies.
Don't use the word penetrate. And just think about all the beautiful countries that he designed, like Greece, Rome, India, China, Japan, Britannia. Bloody hell.
I know. It's like actually astounding. This dude brought all of these places into little old New Zealand.
Yeah. And old mates just sketch them up from Rob's brief and go on. Yeah, all right, no worries. Just fucking sketch that one up. Hand it to the art department. Vroom. Xena.
Exactly.
Wow, man.
And I love as well about the set design as well. If we think about it, he's also got a huge role to play in the force perspective stuff that is going on. That kind of, New Zealand's really known for in relation to Lord of the Rings. Like Peter Jackson really like took that to a whole new level with the little hobbits and the little doors. But before that, before you, Peter Jackson, there was Rob Gillies with his team so that we could like making tiny little wagons and different perspective things so that we can have Gabrielle with the gift of the gab manipulating a cyclops so she can get out of the trap. Season 1, episode 1, Sins of the Past.
And also we should mention that his partner Jennifer Ward, another Jennifer Ward from New Zealand, is an incredibly talented art designer.
Yes, and she was the art designer on Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about all the incredible work, and I would love to hear if any of you own some of her work that's out there in the world.
Please, send me one.
Send me one, not Shell.
Send something. It really does take a village, doesn't it, Lou? Like... Big up, man. Like, standing ovation to the production team. What a crew. Far out. The art department, all the, incredible legends of humans.
Absolutely. Pioneering, hard yakka, number 8 wire, doing it all, out in the elements in Auckland, New Zealand.
Yes.
Legends. Every single one of you, amazing. And I'm applauding every single one of you. One thing I wanted to finally just quickly talk about is that some of the incredible pieces that this team made, right?
Yeah.
So one of them is the enormous Trojan horse in Beware Greeks Bearing Gifts, Season 1, Episode 12.
That's huge.
It's enormous, and it actually could have actors inside of it.
Such an ambitious piece of set.
Yeah, it got like a shout out in those cute little disclaimers.
Yes.
It said at the end, no oversized Polynesian-style bamboo horses were harmed during the production of this motion picture. However, many wicker lawn chairs gave their lives. I'm just like, it's such a cute thing to show how incredibly complex it must have been. The fact that they were using wicker lawn chairs to create this enormous Trojan horse for one episode. Good on them.
Did you actually know that those disclaimers were mostly written by Liz Friedman and Stephen L. Sears?
Oh my God, so cute. I didn't.
Yeah, cool, hey?
So cool. One thing I really want to just quickly flag before we go on, we actually recorded Shell during Matariki, Māori New Year in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Oh, cool. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So we observed Matariki from the 9th to the 11th of July this year. So just for a little bit of context for anyone who's not from New Zealand, Matariki is the name actually for a constellation of stars, which mark the beginning of the new year each year for us. In other cultures, these stars are known as the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. In Japan, they're known as Subaru, the Subaru logo. In New Zealand, this time of year is like for coming together. It's for sharing kai, which is food. It's for taking stock. It's connecting. It's observing. So it was really cool to be able to share this time, Matariki, with Rob Gillies.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Cool, hey?
All right. Hold on to your wicker chairs, Xenites. Here we go.
Kia ora e te whānau. Our next guest is the Kiwi creative mind who helped bring the world of Xena Warrior Princess to life. Every tavern, temple, Amazon village that made us all believe that ancient Greece was just down the road from Tamaki Makaurau. We owe so much to this incredible imagination. He's the production designer. No mai, haere mai, welcome to you, Rob Gillies.
Good morning.
G'day.
Kia
And
ora.
it's Tartarus morning here with us in Auckland.
It is. Happy New Year.
And to you.
So, Rob, can you take us back to the very beginning? How did you land the job of production designer on Xena Warrior Princess?
Okay, so I was what you would call a jobbing art director in the New Zealand fledgling film industry in the 80s. Commercials, New Zealand movies, things like that. Come into town, people would come into town, to do a production, say from overseas. You would hear about it. Maybe you got to go into the hotel where maybe the producer was at, or his line producer or something, and meet them and maybe talk about, could you do the job or not? And in this particular instance, relating to the Pacific Renaissance work, a producer came to town, and I had been told, oh, well, they're here to scout to do a show set in classical in Greece.
Cool.
And it's the legendary journeys of Hercules. And so I went in, and I had this interview with Eric Grundeman, who was at the hotel. A few things, but basically, I didn't get the job for a couple of good reasons. I'd never done anything of that nature really before.
Yeah.
And I probably had a little bit of an offbeat viewpoint on how would you do Greece, the ancient Greece in New Zealand with, the flora that we have here, and it's so obviously utterly not.
Yeah, a lot of harakiki.
If you're going to do it here, it's not going to be ancient Greece, is it? As such.
Yeah.
I don't know, we went into sort of stone buildings and togas and things like that. So I didn't get the job anyway. And I was quite happy not to get it in the set. Because anyway, I waltzed off and did commercials, which were great. At that time, you could make a good living up and down the length of the land, really, doing commercials and waltz around the South Island, have fun. And look, in the process, learn a lot about how the camera works and how you got to work with a bunch of different cinematographers and people. It was just great. Anyway, long story short, the guy they had to do the telemovies, I think he blew the budget, and a few of us, I kept a sort of commentary running with people I knew. Oh, I've seen what they've been doing. Oh, I don't know about that, and all that sort of. Anyway, they came back to do series. They're going to come and do the series, so they interviewed people again. So I interviewed again for it, and I got it, which was a surprise. And that turned out to be a bit of fun.
Wow.
Nice.
Very cool.
Rob, I'm so glad that you did get it, because it was such an incredible Xena. Whenever I shut my eyes and think of Xenaverse, I think of your creations and what you did. Can you give us a little snapshot of what a day in the life is like being a production designer on Xena?
Well, busy. Starts with a coffee. A whole lot of problems from the day before.
Yeah.
And the TV show, as distinct from, so TV's like, a lot more work in a sense, because there's a lot more to do. You've basically got to do, you're making like a little movie every week. Not a little movie sometimes.
Insane.
And really, the day before, what happened? Oh, everything, they had a fight, everything broke, all the arrows smashed and the swords got smashed, and we had all these problems. We didn't know really. Well, this is in the beginning, that was one of the problems, is sheerly having, with the resource that you've got.
Wow.
You've got to create this world, okay? And it may seem like you've got a lot, but you actually don't, especially everything's getting busted all the time.
Yeah.
And that's good. And so I was in a quick learning curve, which I developed on the Hercules show, fortunately. I had this sort of up and running, this idea. So a day in the life of the production designer. And then after you've dealt with the current issues that are sort of ongoing, because you're shooting a episode.
Yeah.
And the second unit is shooting the same day, cleaning up from the last episode and doing all the inserts. So they've got a whole thing going on. So that's all going on. And they've got constant needs and demand.
Wow.
But then on top of that, there's just a script arrived, which is for the episode, the week 2 weeks after in the future.
Jeez.
And it's full of crazy stuff. And it's like, I can't believe I've got myself in this situation. Essentially then it's like, well, how do I get myself out of it?
Yeah, how do you problem solve? Yeah.
Yeah, so then the rest of the days is sort of spent being a pinball in that world and trying to stamp out bushfires of the day.
Yeah.
Where all your, people you're working with, like Jen and all, they're onto it. And you just go, share all that as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
In other words, divest yourself of it. In a sense, but I can't help myself but get involved with some things that are particularly irksome with the character failing, and then clear the deck and try and push on with what are we going to do next week?
Yeah.
Fine.
We didn't have that many people to achieve it, that's the truth. And so I would then plow into trying to come up with how we were going to do the next episode and the one after, make calls, get on the phone, what's happening, is that really what you want?
Yeah.
And then rapidly come up with a plan by the end of the day. And it's already 4:00.
Wow.
Oh my.
So that's pretty much me.
Yeah, I feel like the busy statement at the start is an understatement. That sounds like one of the most high pressure, like it sounds like you've got to be so actively problem solving, but at the same time, you're living in multiple worlds. You're living in second unit, main unit, but also episodes in the future, cleaning up from episodes in the past. That's incredible.
Yes, but the truth is, and it's not just you. So as long as you've got a great bunch of people around you, you can hand off and you can instantly share all that. Oh, we've got a problem there. We've got this happening there. And you've got these people that really, commit to the job, then you're fine.
True.
Because it's sort of like so the production was a big team, and then there's within team.
Yeah.
So the art department was a team, if you like.
Yeah.
Like the fabulous costume department.
Yes.
All these teams within teams, and they're all their own, what would you say, organized hive.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
The cogs.
I don't know. Anyway, but
love that.
that's essential. So my system of communicating what I was drawing, I like to draw, and I learned to draw. So drawing for me was how I could instantly communicate by cranking out these crazy drawings at speed.
Oh, amazing.
And then other
So it literally came from your mind. So you would receive these scripts and go,
unfortunately, yes.
that's incredible.
But it didn't come from my mind. It came from Rob Tappett's mind, via mine. So I would get these things called beat sheets, okay? And the beat sheet is like where the writers,
Yeah.
I would be pleading for, give me not only one episode out, give me 3 episodes out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't do that.
Give me a heads up.
We don't know. And that's okay. I mean, I respected that because they're also in a free-falling world of like how the characters are going. Yeah, so this is wild. But then it began to be like I muck around a bit trying to improvise musically and always have done. I hope it's at it. But the essence of it is you make it up on the spot. And that's the challenge of it, okay? And it's good fun. And when it goes off, it goes off. And everyone goes, wow, that turned out okay. Did anyone record it? And that's one thing. But they would come up with the beat sheets, and maybe 1, 2, 3 episodes are coming. This is where we think we're going. These are the main story beats.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, I'll be somehow prepared for a ravine and a swing bridge and a this and a that. And, try and get a handle on what was coming 3 weeks' time. How are we going to do this? But really, it was out of Rob's mind and RJ's mind and all the writers. And then I get to be the first one that can sort of attempt to put it into pictures. Wow. So that was my smoke and pencil, if you like. And I go, I did wind up after all of the show with a bad RSI in my right arm, which I had to go to a physiotherapist for.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
Wow.
drawing all the time.
Oh,
And drawing all the
on
time.
behalf of us Xenites, thank you for that injury. Because
The truth is, I love drawing.
it was a humble answer because it's actually your interpretation as an artist. Like, because there could be many, many different interpretations, but it's your interpretation of Rob's idea that created Xena. So you really are one of like our visual creator. It's amazing.
Well, yeah. My job, as I saw it, was to create the world that it happened in.
Amazing.
The physical, the what we call the pictorial world. Okay, what the camera sees. So, involved, as you know, going out to Tahinga and all those forest places, finding the places we could shoot in. We were allowed to shoot in. We would have to find a great place, and then you're going to do the deal. Are they going to let us? Are they not? Blah blah blah. Or we lost that. We'd like to shoot there, but we can't. Or you can for 10 minutes a year. All this sort of thing, and then we would go to places and get stuck in the mud. That's no good.
No.
You'd be bogged down for the day. Everything. And as problems surrounding it start to force you into all these compromises, but you make them because you have to get your day. The crew, the director has to get the day in terms of how much they shoot of the show each day. And so that's a given. You can't screw that up. And so they have to be, you can't shift in the middle of the day, the whole unit. They can't go, oh, we like this place, we're going to do that there. Then we'll go 10 miles and we'll do that there. It doesn't work like that because you spend 2-3 hours shifting all the truck.
Yeah.
Everything. So
Waste time.
So how are we going to, you stick a point the compass and then you do a circle in there. We've got to get the whole day there. So I'll bring everything else that we might need to the main part of where we've got to be. And that might be sort of nuts. And then you get yourself into all sorts of problems.
Wow.
You've got to get out of. Anyway, so it's a rolling, what would you call it? Yeah.
It sounds like you're just being comfortable in the uncomfortable was one of your jobs.
That's right. Actually, strange you say that. Being comfortable in the uncomfortable, it's sort of beginning to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's wild. So it couldn't get bogged down in approvals. In fact, there were no approvals. Then an occasional call from Rob going, or crazy stuff like that. Yeah, but that was the genius thing about it. It was free-flowing, sort of, going back to my point about ad hoc, not improvisation.
That's the improv, yeah.
I had a certain number of, call them elements, that I began to amass.
Yeah.
I call them, there'd be all sorts of anything. Well, I never threw anything away. Any materials that we bought, we got to do something. Well, we got to reuse it and keep reusing it and turn it up and down. And then that table, well, you know what? I need a door for the next show. I'm going to make that table into the door. That's how some of those doors are round and things. And, out of necessity, because the table's already been built. And if you turn it up the other way and put it on a sort of a vertical plane and swing it, it becomes a door, and no one's going to recognize the table except for, I do recall one director, he flipped out. He went and he said, that's the table that was in the episode I did 4 months ago, and I'm not going to. And he was convinced I was doing it to him deliberately.
Just to wind him up.
I wasn't. And I had a few, dustbin lids and things screwed to it that you don't even read them as dust. Well, maybe some people would spot it and say,
is that right?
Rubbish tin lids. Yeah, well, I go by, maybe half a dozen bin lids. You have the bin lids come in different configurations.
Yeah.
But if you screw them on the wall in a certain arrangement, they become ornamental discs. They pull all sorts of terrible stunts like that.
That's brilliant.
Fortunately, that show, 16 mil was our friend in a sense, and that now with high resolution cameras and things, it wouldn't.
Yeah, you'd be busted.
Well, we were busted anyway. But the truth is, if you do it decisively, you just do it. Screw them to the wall and cover them with, gunk, and say that's what they are. No, they're not rubbish bin lids. That's what they are.
Yeah, the ornamental things.
Believe
Yeah.
it, you know. And then anyway, who's looking at the doors anyway?
We all will be now.
We shouldn't be looking at the doors.
But Rob, can I ask you, because you kind of taking us down a track I would love to like hear more about from you, is that Xena, it's commonly called a MacGyver set. And when I hear that, though, to me as a Kiwi, I really hear more the words Kiwi ingenuity, which I'm really hearing from you, just like that creativity, that pure just like number 8 wire making it happen. I would love to know, like, if you were to have to explain Kiwi filmmaking ingenuity to someone in Hollywood and you could use one story from Xena, like what story do you reckon you'd tell?
Okay, so ingenuity, yeah, well, I think it's a human trait that you know we can stretch a dollar here
Yeah.
because we're used to it culturally. I think stretching a dollar. As a farmer on the farm, okay, what's he got? He's got some fence posts. He's got a bit of that and a bit of that, and he had a roll of number 8 wire to do the fences with.
Yeah.
And so, what can be used to repair the broken, you know, connection to the trailer, to the tractor, or I can wrap that wire around it and I can bend it back on itself, twist it, loop it, and there we go. It's a repaired tractor with number 8 wire. And so that is the classic farm thing, you know, we'll make do with what we've got. Prior to Unleash, you know, we had a lot of import controls for years here. When I grew up, you couldn't get we repaired things. We repaired on the street I grew up and everyone had a workshop. All the quarter acre sections, they all had workshops and garages, and cars were repaired and shoes were repaired because everything and the clothes were repaired.
Yeah.
Clothes were repaired.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now we just throw them out.
Throw them out. Yeah, that was because we had import controls, and so you couldn't get a lot of stuff. So you kept it running. So I think that culture of, oh, you know what, we can do this with that. So we could stretch a dollar, and the exchange rate also was very favourable to an American production coming down there. They got instantly twice the value for their dollar. Plus, we could couple that with, you know what, we'll take the table, make it the door, we'll do this. Yeah. You're driven to do things by necessity.
Yeah.
And so as that show progressed through the different series, I began to amass more and more of a pile of a play kit, if you like, a big play kit of materials. And I learned that even if there was a fight, the tavern was busted up, all that, kept all of the smashed table.
Cool.
Nice.
Because, hey, 3 episodes time, she comes around the corner and there's a place and it has been smashed up. Oh, we'll go to the place where we've got all the smashed up tables and load where they are. So you gradually get smarter.
Yeah.
Marginally smarter. And don't throw anything away. And so we had an enormous pile at the end of material and built props and dressing props and all sorts of things.
Wow. I love that. Reuse.
Yeah.
So good.
Rob, if you could walk through a set, like again tomorrow, out of Xena, which one would it be? Which one comes to mind?
Quite a few, actually. I do have, there are some ones, there were nutty ones. That I love the absolutely barking mad stuff. And for me, that's my happy place. It's
wow.
This is just nuts. And it's driven by crazy stuff that Rob used to come up with. Well, on the nutty variety, the Xena's fight, the super eggmen, I called them.
Oh, yeah, early on.
Early days.
Yeah.
And they weren't that, I didn't specifically like what were they crossover with Herc in it and Xena and all that.
Might be Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Yes, Prometheus.
Chained to a rock and an eagle.
Yeah.
Then it's out and then the eggs are down below and these guys are in the eggs and they're going to bust out of them.
It's like monkey magic.
I read this, it's like, and we had nothing. And I said, hold on, the guys are in the eggs, Prometheus is on a rock, and there's a big eagle, and we made CGI. This is going to be nuts. and we're going to make we call it the big chicken leg. And then we're done with the leg, and it just got nuttier and nuttier. And on the day, I remember that I went the busting out of the eggs, and the guys were covered in green, and it was nuts. Oh, this is actually a high point of what would you say, just television, cult television. This is
for sure.
Yeah, high camp.
this is not going to go away because this is so nuts. So that's at that end of the scale.
Oh, I love that one. Thank you for that one.
Yeah.
The other one, the most affecting one, was when we did all the crucifixion.
Ooh.
And I didn't quite, I wasn't prepared really for how I felt when I went there when we had it all snowed up and everything, and the rain machines and bleak. And I played this.
Ides of March.
Oh, we had that's it.
Yeah.
At that time, we had a location ranch. The Americans call them ranches. So for us, it would be a location farm or something. But we had the defunct lion
Ranch.
safari park. Anyway, it was a place which I had advocated for all while getting these places where we could just go and do our stuff without being hassled by councils and interrupted by, it's a law.
You want to be lawless.
Ah, nice one, Lou.
Where we could just do stuff and put roads in and make the whatever. So we made a great big sort of weird horseshoe of earth that took a long time to make with trucks of gravel and earth. Anyway, when you walked into it, you were in a bleak, could be anywhere. It's just a strange place because it's nothing other than like being in a big ravine place. And that's where we did the crucifixion.
Wow, gee.
Ominous.
And I'd gone into some detail to try and get the tech right of how the Romans did crucifixions because the most heinous form of torture.
Yeah, terrible.
Really, and all of that. And this, in my sort of glib way, sort of fired into it and did it. But, as it became more a reality, we're going to do it to the point, just we made the crosses. And we were trying to figure out how we got them up into position. And that in itself is an interesting, problem because they had that problem. They would put people on them and then have to haul. And they did it with thousands. So all of these sort of things, you're thinking, how do they do that? And then what does it really mean? But approaching it at speed and not really engaging fully with the enormity of it. I did that, and I walked in there that morning, like admittedly with a steaming hot, beautiful coffee. And here they are, these extras hanging on crosses and snow. And I had this, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And that sort of stayed with me.
Yeah, fair enough. Such an iconic scene as
It was
well.
very unexpected. It was unexpected, in a powerful way.
Yeah.
It could be because in my childhood I was, my parents went to church.
Yeah,
and
of course.
the church had a sort of wooden cross way up in the modernist church it was. So. But anyway, side issue. Those are the two
ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So we were always ricocheting around between high camp and high craziness.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This weird sort of brutal. What is that? One of the debt, the debt with the rat sewers and they're grim places. And we would make these grim places, and then you would go into them, and okay, this is sort of working. Wow. So I was in that world.
That's amazing.
You've got to enter it, and believe it.
So Rob, you are responsible for creating Xena's weapons, her sword, her chakram. And for also creating Gabrielle's staff and size.
Yes.
I would go back and say I'm only part of the team that was responsible. Wow. So for my part, all I ever did was I had a book of weapons through history, In fact, you always used to get books from the library, constantly getting books. In fact, there was someone whose job it was, a rather pleasant job, is shoot off and get books.
No.
Go to the library and get me some books. That was my... this is pre-internet, so now you'll go to Google.
Yeah.
Just go to the bloody library.
I don't mind. And the randomness of getting the books, and the books would come out big piles. So just leave them, leave them around, plow through them. But I had books on weapons through history and things like that. And so the weapons came from there. And then I would just say, well, whack some drawings out and say this and that and get the references. And then pretty much, get the feel between, well, what does he think of this? What does Eric think of this? What do people think?
Yeah.
How's that going to talk to Nyla? Well, how does this go with that? The big thing in all of the whole exercise is to try and loop back through, like classically walk over to the wardrobe department and just drift down the racks.
Yeah.
Drift down the racks. And so the racks have got all the costumes in progress in the works, what's coming next, all the fabrics, get the feel, get the
Amazing to see all
colours.
that.
Where are we going? So it's a thing that reach out and feel the show, and then go, and that'll power me back into this weapon that, and then Rob will have his Hong Kong
Yes.
as, look at this, look at that, we need that.
Yeah, cool.
And then they talk to the stunties, we want it to work like this, we need it to work like that, so it all starts to mush in. So I would, just conduiting the feeling, that's what we'll do, that's what we'll wind up with. And then, critically, that's immediately delivered to the hands of the makers.
Yep.
And the makers then bring their all specific skills and high-end approach, because anything that comes between, essentially comes between the actor and the camera, now that better be good.
Wow.
The doors and the rubbish tins and all that jazz, it's in the background.
Yeah. Out of focus. Yeah.
Sometimes oh no, they shot that, but what comes between the actor and the camera, it's sharp, it's got to look great.
Yeah.
Got the photographic sword and the sharp one, and then you've got to manufacture all of the rubber ones.
This is a good time to bring up what's behind me. So I've got some stunt swords.
Oh, right. You've got the rubber one. Yeah. Or you can create mayhem with those.
Yeah, I have done in the backyard.
Still wouldn't want to be hit hard with a rubber sword,
No,
I can tell.
and just like for our listeners, like this has withheld the test of time. It's like 30 years old and it's still like incredible. Like it's still strong and together and yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. I love these.
Well, I tell you, Jen, who got me onto the internet today, she actually is the manufacturer of all of the chakrams that went out.
No way.
Wow.
And I and Gabriel stuff, because here's the thing, we were doing the show, and I don't know, it was maybe the third or fourth series, all these requests, as the show's got momentum, sort of really did take off, and I guess the subtext thing became,
of course,
and the writers began to go with it.
Yeah,
and
it became
a
a force.
thing. It was such fun. We were going gangbusters, and I started to get all these requests come through.
No way.
Oh, they want a chakram for someone in Universal to get American office to the Aotearoa. Oh, they want a chakram to give to the mayor of somewhere. I don't know. And I said, hold on a minute. We can't just be making chakrams for
everybody.
We're doing a TV show. We're doing the show.
Busy.
We need everything we've got. We can't do it anymore. We need the chakrams to be in the show. And anyway, strangely, Jen busted our Achilles tendon, right? We were just firing into this manic thing, and suddenly, bang, can't be at work, can't come in.
Bloody hell.
Oh, poor thing.
They laid up with an Achilles tendon busted, got to be off for 6 months, all this jazz. Oh, wow, this is epic in my world, because I'm just concerned with how we're going to do the show tomorrow. She just came up with a great idea to, went to Eric, the line producer, and said, what about if I take over manufacturing chakrams, and then they can be continue where everything was done and how they were made and everything. So he said, fine, as long as it gets it off our plate, and we get chakrams done, and people can have them.
Cool.
What in the early days, because now they're completely signed up with merchandising agreement, all the works, but got an agreement. from Pacific Renaissance to make these things, and they would be stamped "Made in New Zealand."
Oh,
No way.
Yes,
That's amazing.
yeah, that's really cool, man.
yeah. She became an arms dealer for about a couple of years.
Rob, may I ask you about just on the chakram, the design of the chakram, because it's got PowerShell on it. Was that a you thing? Who was that?
Look, in truth, I would never say it was a me thing.
Sure.
Because it was just improv
Yeah.
in my work. And there was so many great collaborators that I worked with, all the makers and things. And I had this whole thing that I subscribed to, driven out of necessity because of the time constraints. I couldn't be pedantic about has to be
Yeah, it can be precious.
like that. And like on a movie, you've got so much time, you got really granular into the detail, must be like this. So I would leave what I call meat on the bone, and anything that, for people to do, so they would get their job to do.
Look at it. That's amazing. Is that an actual chakram? So Rob's currently holding up an actual New Zealand-made set, probably.
Hang on, I can't speak.
Oh, this is a cool thing.
It's an OG.
And look, we did that yin yang one.
Oh,
Yes.
But they wanted so you know what? We need to make it do that. And I think
The
that
metallic,
was
snap apart.
it did separated, and then you got the ability
Xenites
to
is just holding this,
and that
just like casually in
great
his hand.
sound
Oh my!
yeah, which gave
So
that
cool.
ricochet double the it did it what it had to do, but I think this is still the classic.
Oh wow!
Yeah. But I was going back to saying collaboration,
Yeah.
all meat on the bone
Yeah.
for the makers and all the people that were so skilled. So they got all this input into it because the people come up with great ideas. Oh, what about we put abalone to the parlour?
Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do this stuff, and the whole thing, these things were built with love,
Yeah.
effectively,
Yeah. And
because they used to take such care about them.
absolutely. Can I just say, as a Kiwi, I feel like whoever it came from, whatever idea, it's just a cool symbol to see little bit of PowerShell
Yeah.
on her weapons, both her sword and her chakra. And then Nyla also kind of puts in some koru on her,
Yeah.
so our hero,
Yeah.
she's got all these markings
Yeah.
of being from Aotearoa, but she's a Greek warrior. It's very cool. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's all hidden in there. It's just like all these
That's
Kiwis
right.
have gone.
Well, it's sort of
That's beautiful.
it's television, and it was batshit crazy.
Yeah.
So you can call it sort of cheese, but I always used to say it's cheese with style and as much style and fun as we can put
Yeah.
into it. We can take it. And then fortunately, Rob is so there.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
What a legend.
great, and so that was fully allowed to happen.
Yeah. Embraced.
And then latterly, you get things now, and because of the internet and all emails and all the eyes on everything and the approval process, you get this crushing sort of squeezes the life out of all
Yes.
one random
Creativity.
happened. Yeah, it just does.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all, even geographically. Down here, in fact, we had a name for Eric Grundeman, the lion producer. He was like Kurtz. I don't know if you've seen Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Kurtz is up the river, way up the Limpopo. He's way up, and he's with us.
Yeah.
So he's got to be like us.
Yeah.
So he's got to be like us. And he, to his great credit, he was like us.
That's awesome.
And same with Rob. Once Rob got here, because he was really he was a voice on the phone to me doing the Herc show. This
Really?
voice from away.
Right.
Yeah, Sarah. But then when Lucy appeared
Yep.
as like the show, he was down here, showed me some crazy Hong Kong tapes
Cool, man.
of crazy action.
Yep.
Said this idea for a show with Lucy. We knew Lucy because she'd been on the Herc show, and prior to that, in a couple of commercials, I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
the lady at the bank and the mum at the bank, and because we would all be doing it.
With Eric, yeah.
So he became very much like us.
Makes for a better working relationship.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's just a Kiwi at heart.
He just got it. And, you know what? And we like somebody's going, oh, we're going to try this.
Yes.
We'll try this, and that's mad, and we'll do that. It was, you want to do that? We'll have a go.
Yeah, let's build a boat.
The boat.
Build a big ship.
Started about the boat. Oh, the boat was funny because that was a side conversation that he had with me. You know what? I did like fishing.
Yeah.
You go, oh, that beautiful, golf out there. I really want to shoot out there because he liked fishing.
He liked fishing.
And I said, yeah, well, I don't see why we couldn't shoot out there.
Let's do it.
We'll build a boat. And everybody hated the idea. They hated it. The production accountant, oh, no, build a boat. Everyone knows that boats are a disaster, right?
Yeah.
There's the sinkhole for money. And also, the production hated the idea because how on earth do you do schedule a TV show on a boat? It's just like, do not do it. But the sea, the wind.
Yes, the sun, far out.
It's nuts. You wouldn't do it in your right mind. Rob goes, I want to shoot on the Gulf. And I thought, you know what?
Bugger it, let's do it.
We could build a boat. And so we had a side project going on. It got to be, we hired a big shed on a river and no one knew. I could sort of collaborate,
wow.
with people area that hide the money sort of things while we were making other things, pass it off until the accountant became suspicious. And then, scope him on it. And he said, well, Rob's okay with it and blah, 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 and
that's awesome.
So it tumbled along and we got a barge and we started building. I had these wonderful guys, a guy that had built icebreakers in Canada.
Cool.
A metal worker and another guy who was a marine salvage diver who just salt of the earth, brilliant guys who, we could build a boat.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, we hired these other people. All right. 4 months later, the boat's pretty good, looking great.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Beautiful.
Yes, it's fantastic, and I'll go out, because it was quite a ways to see it. I'll go out there and there's this big thing sitting in the shed and thought, this is going to be a triumph for me. Sail it down into the harbour.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, we've got a bit of a boat coming.
Xena at the helm.
You should get out in your lunch hour and it'll come down into the harbour. It'll be this great, fabulous thing. Yeah, the boat. No one had seen it up to this point. And then I got a phone call from, I forget who it was from. It was a terrible phone call to get. This voice says, we might have forgotten something.
What?
What? That's not a good call to get. I said, we'll need a marine certificate.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, we need a marine certificate.
Pass this thing.
And I was like a week away from triumphantly sailing down the river and into the harbour with this big boat that we were then all going to go out on. And it cost an enormous amount of money. And I had no drawings for it other than my insane scribbles. And I'd gone out to this place progressively over the months and scribbled on the walls and the floor. And all the guys that were working on it had done their figurings in sort of like chalk on the floor and on the walls. And we just had no drawings. And you need all these technical drawings and all the stuff. And I thought, oh, I'm done. I'm humiliated. And so I phoned up a guy in Wellington. I said, look, can I talk to someone really? It's very important. I need to talk to someone special. And I got through to a guy and I fessed up and I told him everything. And I said, it's so important. It's an export industry, blah, 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 blah. I said, we'll fly you up to Auckland tomorrow and I'll pick you up from the airport. If you can come to this shed, we'll do lunch and if you can come and have a look at this boat. Oh, okay. He came up and I picked him up, took him out there, and he walked in and he saw it. And he said, where are your drawings? I said, well, showed him the floor and showed him the wall. And he looked at us and the guys all stood there. I was like, oh, this is not going to be good because he had a suit tie on. And look, he just literally walked up a big ladder. It was quite big and got right up onto it and he disappeared. And he was there hours going over it. Came down and I was just, my guts was churning.
Oh, yeah.
And then he turned around and he said, well, who do I congratulate?
No.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. And I said, well, you congratulate these guys. They were, how did you do that? He said, I've never seen such a well-built conversion. and blah, blah, blah. And it's, I can special case do it in 3 days and get you certification for 40 people to go on. This is a big deal. And when you
Yeah.
think about it, it makes
Amazing.
sense. It all makes sense because who wants to go out with a
100%.
unseaworthy craft with all these people on it? And it was so close to the wind, and no one knew about it. That was happening, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm going too fast." We've gone too fast, and there were a few instances like that where we were going too fast, and we sort of fell over ourselves.
Yeah.
And
But hey, you're racing against time and churning it all out, and
you get lured into that thing of like, oh, got to get it done, got to get it done, and you do have to get it done.
Yeah.
But,
so did you guys like christen the boat?
oh, we had a great
I was
time
going to
on
say,
the
did you get a
boat.
big bottle of Moe and just
Oh no, the chippy. Look, well, I call the chippies the carpenters.
the chippies,
Yeah.
Chippies and the painters and all.
Yeah.
I love. They're my guys. They loved it.
Yeah, I bet.
We don't love a boat,
Yeah.
and we were like, let's sail. And the funny thing was, there's a sort of in Auckland, the closest you get to the inner harbour in Sydney. Not that it compares, but
Yeah,
there's
beautiful Sydney.
hotels and cafes and bars down at the wharf, and we had this place to moor this thing, which was this crazy pirate ship looking
Far
thing.
out,
And
that's
the
cool.
thing sailed in there was like epic, and there
Yeah.
were like these guys hanging from the rigging, and
Brilliant. What a
yeah,
fun
it was
time.
funny.
That would have been so cool. Well, I guess kind of on that, I'm wondering when fans celebrate Xena, so when we as Xenites are watching it and we're loving it, who do you think in the art department or the general crew kind of are the unsung heroes, people that deserve a bit more recognition?
Look, every direction. The wardrobe department. I mean, all anywhere you look, the stunt, anything.
Everyone.
It was one of those times where things came together. The planets aligned. Planets aligned, and that right to the epicenter of that, which was Lucy, and then Renee,
Yeah.
and it's sort of Rob, and then you know what I mean. It just aligned.
Yeah.
And that happened, and you felt that, and that's what was great about it. It was such a cool thing to be part of.
Wow.
Yeah, you could sort of tell it when it was happening too. Third, fourth series, I felt, this is crazy. This is great fun.
Magical.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have to ask, do you have any favourite memories of working with Lucy and Renee or any other of the big stars?
Oh, look, it was always a hoot and a pleasure.
Yeah.
I can't say that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all I could say. It's like, it was just good.
Yeah. It's all-
Good fun, and sort of crazy good fun.
yeah.
Hard work, but good work. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So other than the shark rum, did you keep anything else from the set?
I have half a shark. I don't even have half a shark rum. I got a half a shark rum which is embedded in a rock art.
Yes, okay.
Throw in there.
So you got that from, that's the World War One, the Ford
Yeah.
one. What is that one?
All about founded.
Indiana Jones. Oh, God.
The Xena Scrolls.
Xena
Look,
Scrolls.
there was
Good
a
on you,
smashed
Lou.
one. Yes, that one. Which was a crazy episode. But that was like this useless thing in a sense, and I'd kept nothing really from the show. Although I did keep, well, I got this chakram, and that embedded into a rock arch. Look, and my daughter now has the house and the garden, but I don't know, maybe her daughter she'll grow up with that chakram embedded, and this is real rock, so it's stuck in there, and it looked like, I wonder how that got in there. Because the arch, I did the arch at the time as well when the show was happening. It's a rock. It's not a styrene one.
Oh, wow. Do you know about the ram that was placed strategically in Xena? In weird, there was always a ram. Is this some sort of urban myth?
Her head was horns like that.
Yeah.
Oh, there was nothing specifically running through that like that.
Okay, there wasn't a running theme. Okay, good. Okay.
I was careful. Everything should be driven by the writers in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than the yin and the yang symbol, which I used to play around with a bit. You remember the bed that they were on?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and we devised a shot looking straight down,
Yes.
screwed around.
Yeah.
They were lying, sort of
Yep.
tail on that, and we played a bit with that sort of
Cool.
symbol feeding
Symbolism.
subtext thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not getting too much in the weeds there.
Yeah, cool.
No, I love that.
Nice.
That's such
Ooh, I
a
like
beautiful image. So, and that particular episode, Rob Tappert directed, and it's an excellent episode. Like, it's so iconic imagery.
Oh, was that a Rob? Well, that would have been a Rob episode too.
Yeah.
Hilarious when he directed.
Yeah.
That was
That's
I
good.
recall him saying, "Oh, because I'd be, we'd be too crazy. We'd be, I don't know what. Well, it was one of the ones he directed. Maybe it was the his musical Bittersweet.
Yeah, bittersweet. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That must have been
I
insane.
would be bleating on about something we can't get there. We can't do that because of this and that. It's, I hear you, but I'm not listening.
You do a great Rob Tappert. I do have to
Yeah,
say.
look,
They're a personal friend, so I do that with love. I hear you, but I'm not listening. Not for him, because he would just be.
I hear you, but I'm not listening. I need that tattoo.
I know, seriously, what a great response.
That's a good quote.
So, Rob, what's your thoughts on a reboot of Xena, or should we just leave it alone?
And I have no specific thoughts. Well, I do actually. Well, I think it was a highly contentious the way it ended. But I do think, so my answer would be, I thought the way it ended was appropriate.
Yeah.
And I know that's a difficult answer for the fans, some of them.
Yeah.
I do think that's life.
Yeah.
And that defines life, in that our endings define life, isn't it? Because without death, we have no
Drive to live.
That's it. Yeah, because if there was no death, think about it. Well, I know that's what I think with that, and so ending of the show was the ending of the show, and I thought the ending was terrible, but then it is
Is what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, Xena lived fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. Nice and deep. I like it.
If they were to reboot it, Rob, would you have any words of wisdom for anyone that came on to do the set design?
Go for it. Yeah. The reboot would be the reboot. It's a completely different world. Now with C,
Yeah.
wow. It's entirely different. Just totally different.
computers.
My son is a CGI concept artist. Oh, he's a concept artist. It lives in that world. It's just so different. And the CGI, the abilities that we had available to it, they used to drive me crazy. And we do those goofy things with, forced perspectives and muck around with the camera. But now, I just love that so much because that was then, and it'll never be like that again. It has a sort of analog quality, which I quite like.
It's nostalgic.
That's cool. Rob, I'm going to ask you another question, which we ask everyone, which is many of our listeners are not from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and we're collecting from all the cast and their crew their kind of local secrets, a must-do recommendation that they give to people, their friends, their family, when they come visit them. What's your local secret in New Zealand?
How local?
Oh, as local as you feel comfortable. As local as
Well, I would say I always find... Oh, look, the fabulous thing about New Zealand is it goes through the latitudes.
Yes.
You can go through the latitudes from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Look, and one of the frustrations with doing the show all those years is we only really got to go away once or twice.
Yeah.
And, it drove me mental because the South Island, I always thought, wow, if we could, I used to harp on about it. Maybe we could, I know this is digressing, but if we could do a season out of the South Island.
Yeah, oh my God.
That would be great. And I thought we could base out of, somewhere like down south, not necessarily Queenstown, but.
No, anywhere.
And we'd do the whole season there and it would just be fantastic and never happened. But we got to different places. So the volcanic plateau.
Yeah, that was really cool. Tongariro.
That's right. So you could do the Tongariro crossing if you don't walk.
Yeah.
The walk between the mountains.
Yeah.
That's a good walk to do. So that would be a
Beautiful.
recommendation. I couldn't do it anymore. Has a part of it called the Devil's Staircase.
Oh my.
Yes.
Is it?
It's almost vertical up these sort of looks like very Xena looking steps.
Maybe I should go
Yeah,
do a kneecap there.
it's pretty amazing actually, but you wouldn't want to do it in winter. And you go right between the two volcanoes
Oh,
and you look across the whole landscape. I don't know if you can
spectacular.
see to the other volcano. So that would be a good recommendation. There's probably a North Island, so reasonably local. I mean, given the South Island is spectacular. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that.
So, oh yeah. So, Rob, what are you working on at the moment? What have you been up to now?
Yeah, I read that and I thought, how am I going to answer that? You're the biggest bastard in the world. I stopped working about 8 years ago. I just stopped.
Oh,
I had enough.
nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah, I decided, you
yeah,
know what? I've done this for a while now,
yeah.
and literally I just goof around. I've got grandchildren. To get
Oh,
involved in their, I'm sort of music lessons and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. I'm just going to take some guitars around to them today.
oh,
Oh,
not a
cool. Oh,
saxophone or a trumpet like your days in Split Ends.
Oh, no, no. In the back of my mind, I made a terrible hash with my son. I tried to get him to play the trumpet, and it's
yeah.
terrible to try and learn. And he's never
Oh,
forgiven me for it, and he turned it off completely. No, now it's his kids, and so I'm like, he said, "You can't believe your luck, can you?" And they're into it.
that's great.
And
Look
it's
at
a
that, hey?
precious thing. So I try and aid and abet that and sort of be a bit of a part of their lives a bit. Yeah.
Oh, you're a legend.
Oh, what a life.
Yeah, yeah. Can't complain.
Oh, Rob, a huge thank you to you for sharing the incredible artistry that brought the world of Xena to life. Thank you for your generosity, your stories, and for giving us a glimpse into the creativity and teamwork that went into our most beloved world. Thank you, Rob. You're an absolute legend, and we've loved having you on. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, a pleasure to talk to you both. And thank you for, forensically shedding light on what a bunch of people did all those years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, thank you so much, sir. It's such an honor, such an honor. You're such a
Yeah.
Kiwi legend.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
so stoked to talk to you.
Okay, it's safe to say, Lou, that man's a creative genius, right?
Yes, it's safe to say he absolutely is. And he's maybe the most humble Kiwi I have ever met in my life.
Yeah, out of everybody, hey. Wow.
And it's just incredible for the volume of work he's producing and the busyness, he is just mind blowing in what he's achieving each week, day in and day out. And he's still just so chill and
Yeah.
casual, goes with the flow.
Yeah.
You got to be, hey?
Yeah. And okay, so he gets a script from Rob, sketches what he thinks. Imagine that self-belief as well. It's like, okay, this is what I see. There you go. Chucking it to the departments, go for it, make it. And he talks about how it's just similar to being a musician and it's just improvisation going. This is mostly just improv and creating off the bat and then boom, off it goes. And then it gets created.
It's incredible.
It's genius.
It is. It's absolutely mind blowing. He had to be one of the people that I wanted to talk to the most.
Yes.
Because he represents a huge majority of the material, actual, tangible elements of the show that we see, the physical world of Xena Warrior Princess outside of Aotearoa's landscape is generally designed and created by Rob Gillies and his team. So it's just, to be able to inform the story that we love so much is just, it's amazing.
Is the brains behind the tapestry, hey?
Exactly. A couple of things that just come immediately to mind from that. The research and the tech that he was going into to understand the crucifixions, that to be able to make them the crosses in a similar way, how intense and affecting it was for him being on those sets, the macabreness of it all.
Yeah. And to think this guy learnt all these skills in his family shed growing up.
Yeah.
It's just
Totally. But that to me is such a Kiwi story.
Yeah,
it made
yeah.
sense to me some of my fondest memories growing up are being in the shed with my grandfather.
Yeah, same here. It's a very Australian thing as well. Definitely. Yeah, making our own stuff, making our own little carts and swords. I remember making wooden swords, nailing them together and painting them and sanding them. Yeah, we were lucky to grow up that way.
Totally. Having the space and the time and the people that knew those skills. It's so lucky and it's so cool. And it is really interesting to hear the nuance and the elements coming in on like a socio-ecological point of view of like that the tariffs that were going on in New Zealand at the time for him while he was growing up and having to, you know, you had to fix everything yourself. There wasn't much kind of like importing of new things. It was very different. And it was until like the late 90s in New Zealand. So it was very like, I can see how this dude had all the skills that were put together for him. Made sense to be able to be such an expert for us in Xena.
Yeah. I like how he's saying, like in the beginning, you'd have fight scenes and it would just break all the shit. And then you go, okay, we need to be a little bit more resourceful here. Like, how are we going to be more resourceful?
Exactly.
And just learning along the way and Xena just rolling out that way.
And also just like keeping all the broken shit, the reusing theme.
Yeah.
You know, like the reduce, reuse, recycle, very, very, very like important sentiments. And I love that it was very important on Xena to be just smart about it. And one of the standout ones that you see is actually like you know how he was kind of talking about like, oh, the door is the table and the table is the door. If you do have a sharp eye as Xena, you can see some. And I know a famous one he's pointed out before in other interviews is that in the debt that, you know, that like, what's that thing that Xena's all like locked up in that dungeon down the bottom? That's like the head shackle.
When she gets an itchy nose.
Yeah, she gets it and she knows. And okay, that whole thing. They reuse that same like big giant bit of wood in Animal Attraction in season 5.
Oh, with Joxa?
No, where Xena's having a sauna when she's pregnant, and she's like having a sauna. She's using it, her head sticking out with a little towel on it. So they have the exact same thing, which is so cute.
Yeah, right. Oh, and let's talk about the super Eggmen from Prometheus. Hey?
I love that his answer of which set he would walk through again.
That one.
Was super Eggmen.
Yeah.
Because that particular episode is like, it's
wacky as. It wasn't China or Japan with soft silk, you know, flowing from the ceilings. No, it's the super Eggman.
But I love because just to give anyone that can't recall this episode or can't bring it to mind immediately, even with the Super Eggman reference, there's a sequence in here where Xena is like underneath a flying pterodactyl / eagle and she punches it in the face. Like it's just so wacky.
So good.
It is the best.
Good. And what about a wonderful story about, well, not wonderful that Jen hurt her Hercules, but making all those chakrams.
Oh my goodness. I know I said this in the intro, but I'm saying, stop it. I'm saying it in the outro. Send it to me, guys. My birthday's next, not Michelle's. My birthday, send it to me.
Would you take a chakram over a sword?
I am not picky. I will take whatever I get. To have a chakram with New Zealand made stamped on it, my golly, I would. That like takes my breath away. If any of you have those, please let us know. Send us images.
Yeah, Xenites, let us know out there. Hardcore Nutballs. For sure, someone would have one.
Yeah. On the weapons, I loved talking about PowerShell on them. So, you know, the little like blue iridescent things on both sides of the chakram, the original chakram, and also on her sword. Yes. It's known as abalone and around the world. It's a great link to the Pacific Islands. And I loved that we could mention that briefly. But it's also just like a really nice link to Greece as well. Like Greece has a lot of like, you know, different seashell informed design and jewelry, and so it was just it's just so special to me as a Kiwi to see that. It's just so special. It's so cool.
Yeah. And it was, of course, Xena's costume design by Nyla Dixon.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that I really loved hearing was a confirmation a little bit from him how they would get books out of the Auckland City Library.
Yes.
Because there is, and I'm just going to do a shout out to another podcast that I've loved and listened to, Bird's Eye View, that do a review podcast. And one of the hosts is from the UK, but during the year 2000, she lived in Auckland and worked at the City Library. and said that she was such a big Xenite fan, she knew that they were going to be doing some sort of Japan episode because they were getting out all the Japan books from the library.
No way.
Isn't that so cool? Back in the day, before Google, and you just work at the library, the local library, you know what your favourite TV show is up to.
Because of that. That's really cool. Dude, he's got the Xena scroll chakram.
I know, I love that. That's probably one of the most iconic iterations of the chakram in one of the greatest episodes.
Yes.
So good. One of my favourite things that he said was that just everything in there was built with love.
Yes. Yeah.
It just means so much to us back home. Like, they care so much about this show, and and we care about it too. Like, there's just so much Aotearoa back and forth, and we just appreciate their work so much.
Yep. All right, guys, you can find us at XenaWarriorNutballs.com. We're on Spotify, Podbean, and Apple Podcast. We're also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Please leave us a comment. Send us a scroll. Love a good chat. Mm-hmm. Battle on, Xenites.
Ka kite anō. We'll see you again soon. Shell.
Yo.
Let me paint you a picture.
Okay.
Xena and Gabrielle, they're getting married. You're invited.
Oh my god. What?
The wedding's tomorrow.
What am I going to wear?
You've got to give them a present. What are you giving them?
Honestly, Lou, there's too many things.
Do you know what I reckon we should do?
What?
Bin lids, spray paint, ornamental discs.